What's going on, YouTube? It's Jay Coffee back at it with an update into a sad news story that broke today. Kyren Lacy, you see the picture of him there repping LSU. He had just declared for the draft. He was rated by Mel Kiper as the number 6 draft prospect at wide receiver, the position that he played. Comment all the fans out there if you think that's a fair assessment or you think higher or lower, what you thought of his talent and all that. But a couple months ago, he had a legal situation where he was involved in a hit and run in Louisiana where he dipped off and didn't get help or anything like that, allegedly, right? Because it never played out in court or whatever. But a 78-year-old man lost his life. And he ended up turning himself in January 12th, bailing out for 151,000 or something like that. And then there's reports yesterday that you see, the news is he passed away at the age of 24, that there was some kind of incident with a family member, and they called police, tried to apprehend him. I guess he had discharged a weapon into the ground, and he ended up fleeing in a vehicle. The police followed him, and it ended with him crashing and them realizing he had offed himself in the vehicle. And it's just wild, 24 years old. He's primed for a professional football career. I mean, who knows the way it would have went with the legal system and all that. There's someone, I'm not sure if it's the attorney or someone for the family, that was saying, hey, we're confident his name would have cleared when it all been said and done. But apparently, he it was just weighing on him. It's a real sad story, like, got to think about what you're doing in life, especially when you're young, feeling invincible. Decision making is everything, not being too impulsive. And it's just a real sad story. But check it out. His father has spoke out about this, and he said, young parents, start talking to your kids at a very early age and make sure they are confident and comfortable confiding in you. Don't be cool with I'm all right or I'm good when you know deep down something isn't right. Mental health is real, and for the most part, it's invisible. Don't ignore the signs, even if they may seem small. So I want to stop right there and say, like, first off, RIP to this young man, and hats off to his father for, in the wake of this horrible tragedy, him losing a son. A parent is never supposed to bury a child. Anytime this comes up in the news, I'm always like, man, I do not know how parents carry on, how they get up out of bed the next day. Like, any parents out there, if you've ever had a close call where your child was seriously hurt or facing some kind of like life-threatening situation, it's terrifying. And I truly, like, the people, like, just don't get how the parents are able to push on. I don't know that I could. And I don't think it's a stretch to think that there's a lot of parents that just couldn't. But here he is, the father, just losing his son, and he's not just like trying to be strong for the family and all that, but he's sharing with the world an important message, because this is just so important. Ish is twisted these days. Like, I don't know what it is, like a generational gap. Like when I came up, because I would consider myself to be a young parent, I guess, right? And when I was coming up, it was like a big generational gap that I felt wasn't as big of a gap with me and my kids, being that, like, I don't know, my situation's twisted and it doesn't really matter. I just always felt like being a younger parent. I was closer to understanding, like, the kids, and I was too young. Like, I was too young to be out of the loop of what's going on. But it's just, I don't know if that's always the way it goes, that parents are just out the loop, or I don't know. It just seems like things have changed so much. Personally, not to get all off into it, I feel like the way the youth are coming up, being propagandized in a lot of ways, is messing with them, and just the way the world is. But that's just a theory. I'm not saying I'm straight up right. Let me know if parents or just anyone out there, let me know your thoughts about that. If you think I'm right, you think I'm tripping, or if you feel what I'm saying and you don't. It's just the whole mental health thing, and I don't know, man. It's just wild times we're living in, especially post sickness. A lot of individuals like got knocked off their pivot and never just got back on par, And I don't know. It's just different. It's crazy because like I thought with the whole mental health thing where people were more open nowadays, like society wasn't looking down on it maybe the way they used to in the past. Like things were looking good, but I don't know, man. There's something going on, like almost. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's there's a lot of propaganda affecting the youth. It's just different at the end of the day. And being a young parent, I didn't feel like I would have that issue, but it's wild, man. And it's like hard to get people to open up sometimes. And he's saying, don't be cool with just, hey, I'm all right, I'm good. If something ain't right, you got to find a way, whatever it is, to break that barrier and figure out what the issue is and how to help your child. And this is coming from a father right here. He just lost his child. Like he's sharing um serious game and life lessons right here. Our lives have changed forever, and this will never be okay. But God needed my baby more than he was needed here. This has to be the biggest pill our families have had to swallow. But I know the love and compassion in our families will get us through. This will never get easier, but we'll learn to live with it. Check on your kids' mental, and that's just so important. Like there's always something in life to be learned from things, whether they're good or bad. And like I'm guessing the father sharing this, he doesn't want to see other parents go through this, but comment, some people are very standoffish, or they don't want to open up, or they don't want to help. I don't know. It's a tricky thing, but there you hear it right from Mr. Lacy. Let's see what some of the people are saying in response. So very sorry for your loss. I know what it is like to lose a child. Damn, someone else who lost a child. That's, man. When parents expect too much from their children have no one to turn to when they're desperately need help. Let them be who they are and show them unconditional love. Don't push them towards the cliff where they become helpless. Yeah, gotta let people be who they are. Guide them, parent them, but you can't force a kid to be what your image is of them. I think I would agree with that. Everyone, let me know if you agree or not. Make sure to subscribe and all that, but more importantly, join the discussion. Hurt and family pain. This ish, this is real ish, man. I wish I was able to confide with my parents at all when I struggle mentally. It takes a lot to pull yourself from that dark, and not everyone has it. R.I.P. to Lacy and R.I.P. to Herman Hall. Someone says, I got this from X. A young black man and his two younger daughters touched my heart as they said this back to him. My son and I do not do it now to empower your children. What is it? Zach, what is integrity? Always doing the right thing, especially when no one is watching. Zach, what is accountability? Owning up to my decision. Man, it's hard for me to read because it's so small, the font. Owning up to my decision. I don't know. Y'all can. I can't really read it well. Raise your children to overcome hardship at an extremely early age while they're still developing and looking for answers. Checking in when they're older doesn't do anything if they don't respect your voice or perspective. Interesting comment. Now they know the families of Kyren Lacy. Now they know how the families of Kyren Lacy's victims feel. I mean, I think they already knew that. Someone's commenting there kind of almost like in a vengeful way, like, oh, now you know how that old man's family feels. Like, I don't think he said anything to downplay what happened. He's just trying to share game. I mean, from my take, what I see, so other people might not end up in the same boat as him. I think that's courageous and very commendable of the father, but someone's in there kind of being a smart ass. Like, I don't think that they downplay that one bit based on the commentary that we're saying. RIP to that man as well. Can't imagine having to bury a child. Like I was saying, that's just a real life horror story. The type that it just seems like, how do you overcome that? Please have open and honest combos with your kids, especially your athletes. Social media is hard on our young people, as there are people who use social media as a platform to attack others. And if they consume enough of the negativity, it will eventually consume them and lead them to making some emotional decisions. Now, that's something right there. I got to keep it real. I didn't realize, me talking about how I was a younger parent, like, oh man, I ain't going to be out the loop like my parents were. Plus, my parents weren't even really my parents, but it's besides the point. This video ain't about my personal experience. It's about this tragedy that happened, and, the father trying to share some game with the world. Um, that's something I didn't peep though, because of social media and all this blogosphere, internet ish. Still, like, we're in uncharted territory, and the world is adapting and changing. I didn't realize how different for the youth who always have had this social media world, this blogosphere world, how different it is and how much it changed things up. I definitely still think there was a lot of propaganda and stuff going on, but no question this blogosphere ish played such a big factor. And I feel like a moron because I'm like, how did I not peep it? But it's like, I was monitoring what's going on and all that, but I just had no idea the difference that it make and could make. Kids do stupid things, and sometimes it causes serious problems. I know as a youth I did some pretty stupid stuff that my parents should bear no responsibility for. I was being stupid and careless. Prayers for the Lacy family. So someone said, like, it's terrible that that old man passed away. I don't think anyone's trying to negate that horrible thing happened, and you can't hold it against his family. Most definitely. We'll read these last few comments on the screen and then we'll close this out. But real talk, I want to hear everyone's thoughts about this. All that. Let's talk. And again, make sure to subscribe. It's just all about talking with everybody out there on this channel. So don't be shy. Sound off. This is some real ish, some real horrible ish, but it's some real ish as well. Maybe referring to your adult son as baby didn't help matters. So someone, I guess, by the way they reference their child, feels like maybe Kyren was babied. Do you see that? Do you get that from just some social media posts or what? The whole God needed my loved one more than me isn't biblically based at all, to be honest. I guess it's something people say to make themselves feel better. RIP to the dearly departed. What do you think about when people say that? Like it was their time or God needed them more than me? Is it just a coping thing? Like, let's talk about it. Heartbreaking. May he rest peacefully. Praying for them. Calling mine now just to check. Should have raised a better son. Damn. This is obviously a troll account. You see what it says as the name and what the avatar is. He was doing shooting celebrations during football games. We got to see the signs, guys. So the means of in which he offed himself and all that. Someone is saying the shooting celly, that there's a factor there. And that's something in the NFL that's like super banned now. That there were some players getting flagged and fined last year, but now anything remotely that could be interpreted as a GUN celebration wise, it can happen. So RIP Kyren Lacy. His father speaks out. A parent burying a child, unthinkable, unfathomable situation. Rest in peace to that old man as well. Let's talk about it all. It's coffee, talking music, news, sports, and more. And I'm up out of here, guys. Peace.